When you log into ACT, you'll always see your contact information. To look up a different contact, you can type any portion of a person's name in the lookup pane field at the left, and then click the Go button. I want to look up Lance Parker. I can type in the last name or any portion of his name if I'm unsure of the spelling. From here I can click Go. I can see that my lookup brought up a double last name, a last name Parker, a Parker first name, and then Lance Parker, which is the one that I want. I'm going to double click the one that I want to display his contact information. To look up records based on data in any specific field in ACT, all you have to do is right-click that field. You can look up by any field in the database just by right-clicking on the field and selecting the lookup option. Let's say I want to look up all customers in my database. I would right-click the ID status field, look up ID status. Note I didn't click the label, only the field. And I could look up lead contains customer and click OK. Thus, I have my customers. Now I want to narrow the lookup by email address. I'm going to go back to Detail View by clicking on the toggle button and right-click to look up email. So I want all customers with emails. So I don't have a specific email. I want to select Show me any email that just contains data. If there's something in the field, select it. Now, if your lookup dialog looks like this, I want to show more options. I want to be able to see this larger lookup screen because I don't want the default option of replace lookup. I want to say narrow this lookup. Of all the customers, show me those that have an email. Once I've narrowed it, I can click OK. Now my list has gone from 67 to 23. In any list view in ACT, you will see the Detail View and the List View toggle buttons at the top. To move back and forth on these same 23 records, you would just click the Detail View. Notice I still have the same 23 records that I can move between, going back and forth. If you generate a multi-field lookup very often, you'll want to save the query or create a group that remembers the query. To do that, click on the Groups icon in the nav bar at the left. Once the groups are displayed, click on the New icon at the top to create a new group. Let's create a Marketing Customer Email group. On the Contacts tab, which is usually already displayed, I now want to say I want to define the conditions for which contacts will be in this group, so I'm going to click Add Remove. I don't want to manually add them every time. I want to use that same query that we just did a few minutes ago. So the field would be select ID status that contains the word customer. Click the Add to List button, and let's preview to see how it looks. Sure enough, there's our 67. But I want to add a second condition, which was email does not contain data. Add to list. So it reads, look up all contacts where the field name ID status contains customer and where the email does not contain data. That's all. Let's preview now. And sure enough, it goes back to our 44. Click OK. And OK. Now the query saved. So when I want to look up this list, I can right-click, create lookup, and there's my 44. You'll notice if I want to look up ID status, customer, and as I move along, let's just say I want to find a customer that doesn't have an email. Here's Andy doesn't have one. While I'm talking to him, I find out that I can put in an email. So I can say andy@a1.com. Now let's look up that group again. Let me go back to Groups, look at marketing customer email, right-click, create lookup. Now I have 43. However, sometimes you just need to create a group that you can use for marketing, but it's not really based on a field. I would like to create a marketing for my hot leads. So once again, go to Groups, click the New button, and I'm going to call it Marketing Hot Leads. You can click the Save button to immediately put it in the list, or you can just move to another group and it automatically saves. I don't really have any fields in the contact screen that would help me pick out my hot leads. It's more of a gut feel kind of thing. So let's look up that customer with emails group and select from that group manually. So I'm going to put myself in tag mode and select the customers that I think have a really good chance of closing within the next few weeks. Once I have my list, I'm going to look up selected, select all, right-click, add contacts to group. I can select hot leads. Okay. Let me just look up all for right now so that you can see how this works. I'm going to click on the Groups button, Marketing Hot Leads. There's my 4. Right-click, Create Lookup. Voila, I've got my list that I can work with at any time.